Welcome back to the pre-game show, or the pre-match show, whatever you want to call it. This is Series 2 or Season 2 or whatever you want to call it. We're dividing things by 5, so the first season's in the books. I went a full 5-0. In the past week, Draxie's made interesting moves, going up and down pretty much like the stock market lately. So, this should be interesting. I think we're getting more and more evenly matched as time goes on here. So, it'll probably get harder and harder for me. Let's review today's stuff. Right, so courses are random on all three. They are all front. So, it's going to be hard to predict exactly where things will go. I can definitely say anything can happen today. The distance today is 300 yards, so we're going to be in the 300 division today. Let's go through the list. Item restrictions, there is a 6-item limit and very specific items as well. 1 wind strength, 1 double, 1 power milk, 1 power potion, and 2 silent nerve stabilizers to make 6. I'm still using the good old watermelon comet. Define Caddie as Elly and Tory. Define Mascot as Tiny Dragon. I do gotta note the rings that I'm not using here. So the very important thing is that the Graphite Ring is the only one I can use here. Just going through the list there. Right, so cards are legal except for consumables. We'll get to that in a moment. Clothes, top, bottom, shoes, and gloves, as shown here, and everything else is legal in terms of accessories. There are no restrictions in that regard. And that's going to be about it. The 300-yard distance will be seen during the match, of course. I confirmed beforehand. No effects to be used. No consumable cards, as usual. And that's going to do it. Like I said, anything can happen here. See you in the match. And welcome back to Season 2, Series 2, whatever you want to call it, of the Rival Match series. Today I am the only one on commentary since Draxie is mute at the moment and no one else is around at the moment. So, I'll be carrying everything alone for a change. Yes, it is a top and a bottom. Lucia has a ton of onesies, but this is not one of them. Yeah, you're good. I'm all for confirmation. I did my little pre-match segment, so you can see it for yourself in the pre-match segment as well. That's why I do them. Alright, let's get this going. Fate is going to decide what course we show up with first, so there is nothing else to say other than let it fly. Interesting choice. Yep, same. I adjusted right now, so, and by right now I mean like 10 minutes ago. But yes, this is a very interesting start. So, what is your perspective coming into Series 2? Oh, I know what the reason is. I don't like you for it, but I know what the reason is. Oh, I caught on, don't worry. I caught on to that. You can always try to make this your season if you try your best. Okay. Okay, that's a good way of putting it. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Pretty decent start. 5 yards away. Not terrible. It's roughly where you want to be on this course. The closer you are to the hole, the better. You got a sick chip in on Deep Inferno. That's a nice thing to have. Deep Inferno is always fun when you can chip in. Alright, let's do about that, I think. Actually, I might go a little further, but not by much. Yeah. I guess you mean it bounced into the hole? It bounced into the ball is a little strange. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I figured. Okay. Yeah, those are nice. Those are nice. It's always nice when it bounces in the hole. It's always a good feeling. Yeah, no bee adventure. All right. Pretty fair start. But this is where the fun begins. Where am I going to put this is the question. Oh yeah, I did forget about that. Our particular rule is that this round is that we cannot putt from the green edge no matter where it is. I did forget about mentioning that in the pre-show. That is true. Am I okay with that? Maybe a little more. Ugh. I'm already second guessing myself. That's not fun. Alright. Let's just let this fly. Okay. Da, 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 da. That's good. I think I've been starting to get eyes a little bit as well. So that's good. Ah. Just right of the hole? Just right of the hole, I think it was. Let me take a look. So I was a little, like the tiniest bit off. Yeah, and I was short as well. Okay, one tick more would have done it then. And I was thinking about that too. But I was just right is the problem. Alright. I mean, they can't always be hole-in-ones. Alright, let's see it. We're letting it fly. Also right. But a little bit more so than me. Alright, which means this hole is going to end in a certified draw. Nothing too crazy yet. Hole 3. All holes still in play at the moment. I mean, it could. It could. That's very true. You know what? I'm gonna be over here today. Let's go for an interesting play. Let's do a little bit of that. Haha! That's a good one. The cold shoulder. I like that. I like that a lot. Puns are always welcome here. Alright, so we're gonna... Oh, this might be an issue. This might be an issue. Draxie was intending to go with the other side and hopefully going for it all there to be as close as possible. Instead, he has wound himself up in an interesting spot here. It is definitely possible for him to recover, but this is not the shot he wanted to take on shot 2 here. That is very true. You did take off a little bit there. That might have mattered. Not sure if it would have or not, but I did notice that. Alright. We are letting it fly. Is this the shot he's looking for? It is not the shot he's looking for. It is on the green, but it is pretty far away. Alright. Well, our goal here is to try to be close and not do anything stupid. That's my goal right now. I gotta admit, this wind is very tempting. I gotta admit that. But that would be greedy right now. That would be very greedy right now. So, I'm gonna be disciplined for the time being. Do I like it like that, though? Yeah, it's probably not gonna be that crazy. Alright. Da 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 da. Football fever! For those at home, we're talking about the other football, otherwise known as soccer. I don't know why I felt I needed to make that distinction, but I did. Alright, very interesting putt here. Very critical that he makes this. His Pang and his bonus Pang only get separated by 1, and it's a slight miss. Alright. 1-0. All 18 holes still in play at the moment. Still a long way to go. This is hole 4. Get it. 4. That was bad. That was bad, but I had to do it at least once. I'm probably going to do that in another video as well. I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, great power comes with great responsibility. Very true. Alright. Pretty alright position. It's not really so great to be exactly 190 because that's kind of the awkward range of the difference between 2i and 3 wood. Unless you're pretty good at it, in which case, by all means. But typically speaking, that's usually not the fun range. All right. I'm guessing that was an ice bounce. That's the only reason you went that far. I wasn't actually noticing that. I was out here like, huh. Bro was bouncing. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, this has got to be an overshoot. Well, hopefully not by too much. Because I'm not taking chances with anything else. Stop. Okay, that's decent. It is definitely hard to try to figure out where the ball is going when the comet's angled like that, but I wasn't too far off the mark. I will say I wasn't that far off the mark. I had the right idea in mind. Not quite there, though. Alright. Pretty decent shot. A little short, a little bit too much spin, but it is doable. 8 yards from the hole. Pretty straightforward. Understandable. I would be worried about the same thing. I'd be worried about ice bounces as well. That may decide a hole at some point. Very possible. Alright, another pretty straightforward hole. Taking it nice and slow. After 4, the score is 1-0. All holes still in play. Alright, this is where the fun begins, I think. We're getting a lot of good wind draws so far. That is nice. That sure is. Couple different approaches to this hole from the start. Let's see what Jax takes here. Yeah, it looks like we're going for a similar strat. I am in a questionable position, actually. This is very questionable. Well, let's just hope nothing crazy happens, I guess. That's all I have to say now. Because I might have put myself in a weird spot. Alright. I think we'll be fine. Just gotta hope that lift happens very soon. Okay. Alright. I think I almost made a critical mistake there. Okay, it's like that. There we go. I almost made a critical mistake. That would have been very bad. Yes, he sure has. Ooh, alright. I figured I wasn't in the right place, all things considered, but it was better to get that shot off than not. Why, yes, that is exactly what that is. Full context, it's a reference made to Archie, and specifically the fact that one of my buddies, Tigray, happens to be something called BK, is what we refer to it, as basically just in a position where he can't do anything for a significant portion of the Archie. And for the moment we believe it's because that while the rest of us have a large amount of checks, Tigray does not, which causes that imbalance. And so we poke fun at it. Alright, let's see what we got here. Little over, but it is within acceptable range. Which means this hole is probably in the books too. Oh. Alright. Let's get this in the hole. And hole 5 ends with no drama. Alright, coming up to number 6. Number 6, things where things get interesting. Alright, well, I mean, no time. Well, actually, I just realized, you know, if I used an item after I saw that, I would have been upset. Or before I saw that, rather. I almost did. I almost pressed the button. That would have been kind of bad. Okay, this one's a bit tricky. Yeah, maybe something like that. I think that's gonna have to do. Alright. Okay. Ooh, this is an interesting range, actually. This is fine, but it's gonna be a little over. So, I definitely need a beam shot. beam shot's gonna solve this. Okay. Well, beam shot would have solved that. Trying to see how close I was. Draxie does, in fact, use an item here. Ooh, I wasn't that far off. Yeah, I think I gave a little too much in the end. Alright. I was not that far off. So my guesses aren't too bad. They're just not on point right now. Kind of happens when you play cold. Sometimes these things happen. The difference between me and Draxie is that usually Draxie gets some warm up before he does this, while I don't. I usually play cold. Very close, but not quite it. At all? Like, I saw from chat earlier, I thought you did like something. Okay. Well, I guess today's exceptional in that case. But in some of the other matches, Draxie did have any degree of warm-up. But I guess today's exceptional. Alright, 6 in the books. All the holes still in play. Relatively quiet so far. Just waiting for one of those moments where one person blinks. That's pretty much the story here so far. All right. Looks like we're going for the advantage win strat, which didn't work out as well as he'd hoped because he hit the rough first. Still, they went far. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, that's about what I figured. A little bit like all over the place. That's unfortunate. Ooh, I am not in the right place at all. That is not good. That is not good. Yeah, I guess you sneezing all over the video wouldn't have been fun, wouldn't it? Would have, rather. And hopefully it's not gonna last too long or whatever. I don't know what to say about that, except I just hope it gets better. That's all I can really say. Alright, this is definitely the better shot of the two. Alright, this putt's not too bad, thankfully. And there it is, another quiet pull. Alright, hole 8. Wondering if I actually need that, but likely speaking, I probably do. Likely speaking. The only thing I can hope for now is that it just doesn't go too far over. That's really all that matters. All that's left to do is let it fly. Good. It's about where I want to be. Pretty good. This is almost always going to be some kind of a curve shot. This is where curve experts would really get in there and get this done. Alright. Is it gonna end up a similar shot? Oh, significantly closer. That is gonna matter. Just that little bit. Pang differential might come into play. All right. Hole 9. Do I do my usual? I think I do my usual here, to be fair. Yeah, I think we'll do my usual here. Oh. Just give the mountain a light tap. Tap, tap. Bongo tap. What will Draxie do? It appears we are headed for the over the volcano shot. Or I should say ice cano. Being in the rough might not be helpful here. This will make things interesting. For the folks at home, if he winds up on the mountain somewhere, it is OB. So, he is going to very much have to get over this. Alright. That looks questionable to me. Did get over, okay. It looked questionable from the first shot. Alright, a success. A success. Yeah, this is theoretically worth a shot. Do I go for it? I think I do, actually. Okay. That should be somewhere in the ballpark, I think. Yeah, in the ballpark it was. Could have gone a yard or two less. All right. And that is 9 in the books. All the holes still in play. As we move on to hole 10 with a pretty awful wind. I think this is our first 7-meter draw. Barely in the rough. That's unfortunate. That is like the actual tip of the rough. Unfortunate. Keep in mind, being in the rough is not all bad in Pangya, but it does make things a little complicated sometimes. In case you were curious about how the Pang War is going right now. Alright, on the fairway and a little bit behind. Very good. Makes for somewhat of an easier shot. Granted, the only real factor is how bad that wind's gonna be. That was very close to being on target. That was very close to being on target. Meanwhile, my shot's significantly weirder. That's a definite. So there's a good chance this could go horribly wrong. Okay. Oh. Alright, that turned out to be a thing of beauty instead. That might be the break point of the match. 2-0 after 10 holes. 17 holes are in play now at this current time. This hole is a little interesting though. Once again, a couple different ways that this hole can be done. Pretty okay place. Oh, I think that was an ice bounce. And okay, not bunker. They would have gone in the bunker. But it is going to stay in the rough, at least according to the caddies. Or the ice. Same thing. Not really the same thing, but a place that's not the fairway. There you go. That's the correct answer. All right. Let's make this shot count. Hopefully speaking here. Wouldn't be terrible if I went a little bit far over. Okay, so it's like that. So about this, and then a little bit more. Should be all good. All things considered. Yeah, that seems about right. Pretty okay. Not the greatest of bounces entering the green, but acceptable result. Alright, Draxie has got the even slope, which makes this shot interesting. Looks like he hit the rough early, which led him to be outside the green. And according to our specific rule set here, it has come up. Drax is required to try for a chip in here, regardless of whether this was a good putt or not, which it actually would have been. I know I would have considered putting if I was in this spot. He's going for the 9-eye method, and it goes a little over. Just a tiny bit over. Incline is definitely a very difficult thing to understand. I will say that. The score is 3-0 coming into hole 12, and that means 16 holes are in play now at this present time. I think that's supposed to be fine. Yeah. I think that's where I want it to be. Alright. Let's just let this thing fly then. So that's about this. Which means I shouldn't go too much further. One tick more, I think, yeah. Alright. Let's see it. Nothing else to do but let it fly. There we go. Almost off the mark on the beam though. A little scary. Alright. Draxie's in a position where he has to make the same shot just to survive. Alright. Let's see it. And it will go in. Alright, so he's kept it alive just that little bit longer. Therefore, the score stays 3-0, with 6 holes remaining. This could lead to some interesting developments. This wind is interesting. I know what I'm going to do though, because I usually like going this way, regardless of wind. So I know exactly what I'm going to do. No. All right. Question is, what will Draxie do? He's decided to go right, to go over the cliffside, hill, whatever you want to call that part. It's not really a, I guess it's not really a cliffside. Whatever, he's going over the thing. There, he's going over the thing, or trying to. But this spot is a little questionable. If he manages to get this in here, he's back in the game. Ooh, that didn't look right. Oh no. From the first angle, that didn't look right. Yeah. No, that's not it. Unfortunately, caught the highest part of the hill, and I think that was what did you in. Oh no, bad bounce off the green. Oh, that's not on the green. Wow. That is a questionable line. That is a very questionable line there. Wow. I would have said that's green personally. Jeez. Alright, I just have to hope this shot isn't too off the mark. I don't have to do too much here. But largely not make this too far off the mark. Which is a little off the mark, but it'll have to do. Once again, because he's barely on the rough, he has to chip in from here. Although I'm not so sure he would have wanted to putt this time. Trying the 9-eye method again. Not quite. Even if I miss this, I have another shot to make this, unfortunately. I hope I don't miss this, but you never really know what can happen in this game sometimes. And these are usually the questionable putts. Yeah. Alright. The score is 4-0 with 5 holes remaining. In this game's current state, 2 more holes are in play. I'm gonna try to be a little shorter this time, and a little bit more over here. Yeah, this course definitely plays with people sometimes. I know it plays with me here and there. So I know that feeling. Don't you worry. Just about anything in the game of Pangya I can probably sympathize with at this point. Was that a miss Pangya? No way. Oh wow, I thought it was going in the hole. I really thought that was going in the hole. Okay, this is a questionable lie, but this will be fun to try. Very questionable lie, though. So I'll lean in favor. Actually, I think this still, like, maybe is like this, barely. No, I don't know. Let's go over here. Let's just make that our guess, because I think this is just like an overpower kind of scenario. 47, making this something like that. Maybe needs more juice, we'll find out. Oh, I didn't spin either, but that's okay. I think I'm okay with that. I did not spin either. I've been forgetting to spin sometimes lately. It's a little bit... I don't know. Don't get old, kids. Alright. Wasn't on target for beam anyway, but it's not a bad try. Alright. You definitely need to get this in to keep things alive. Otherwise it gets very dire. Best of luck, is all I can say. And he lets it fly. Off the mark and into the rough again. Another chip in force if I don't make this putt. Because I am further away. Oh well, yeah, he still has to do it anyway. This definitely has to go in now. If it does not, the game's over. And once again, he must chip in here. He cannot putt this, even though he probably would. No. And the game is over. Final score 5-0. Alright, so game 1 goes to me in a very decisive match. See you in game 2.